Good evening, everybody, and apologies for this. Obviously, usually we have the stream running before qualifying starts. However, a little bit of an issue on my end. But we are live for round 17, the Mexican Grand Prix. Now, a quick rundown of what has happened in quali will happen. I will say in a moment, but I can say for sure that it is binary on pole with Racing Point Turkeys, who always seems to have a good qualifying, up in second. It was a wet qualifying, and it is full wet to start. So it was inters in qualifying and full wet in the race. Now, this is big news on that side. We haven't had this in a long time, so I'm really interested to see what's happened, and I'll just making sure I am in a party on my own, just in case Ollie will come in. Unfortunately, I had a little bit of an internet problem, which threw everything completely out of sync for me. I couldn't even get on WhatsApp to let people know. So, yeah, bit of a problem my end, but I'm back now. Really looking forward to how the Mexican Grand Prix stands out. And, well, it's I'll tell you what, it's odd being on my own again in the comms box. None other than my own fault, really, at the end of the day. But well, let's have a look and see. Obviously, everyone, I think, is starting on the wet. It is full wets throughout. Let's keep the positional changes there. And, well, Pred down in 12th, Master Swain in 6th. No light. Oh, Light Shock is in 10th, so it's a completely weird and wonderful grid because of the wet. I don't... Thinking of... binary, there is a huge gap between everyone getting to the grid. Now, this is huge. Pinger's down in 16th, and, well, you can see the qualifying order there. Now, I think, as usually, I would, at this point, have a little guess at who would be where, but the Wayne at the end of the race, but the rain, has made things very, very weird. But we are preparing, I think, now for lights out. It's saying it's a one-stop strategy here, but I know some people will push for a no-stop if possible, if they're quick enough and if things fall their way. But we are readying out, and the lights are come on. I don't really think people would want to start on the front row of the grid here, but we're finally away we go. And there's movement at the back. Gunhead has got past Stracker straight away. Turkeys and Binary side by side. Prophet Media looking like he's trying to get through already. He's gone up the inside. Binary's gone defensive in there. Prophet Media has got up into second place. He's got Turkeys. Is he going to get Binary as well? He's not, but it's a nice little try there. Sanchez is down into P5 with Jolly moving up. Master Swain is making positions as well, while Niels 998 is going the opposite direction. Prophet Media struggling for a little bit of traction there, and Binary's finally getting away. Turkey's looking a little bit struggling there, but Sanchez and Swain battling away for P5, and Sanchez has got the position back, but Swain is switched back through on him, and there's Sinful Chris trying to make up a place there as well. A little bit of contact, and Sanchez is really holding people up in the wet conditions here as Sloppy and Swain go side by side, and Swain might lose out here, and that is not what he wants with this title fight raging on. But he has got an advantage over Light Shock, who's a few places down, and Swain has finally dropped a position there, and Sloppy is up 3. A great start for the McLaren driver. Is there anything else going up front? Turkeys and Jolly then. Let's have a look at this at the high end of the grid, and what can Jolly do after a few weeks out? He's and not usually his usual saying, the reigning champion, dropping down a little bit, but he's definitely up at the moment. He's looking all over the back of Turkeys, and it could be this long straight, which is the position done for the Mercedes driver. And it's quite relatively straightforward there for Jolly as well. The Mercedes driver definitely pulling away. Let's have a look at Master Swain. He's falling back a bit from the McLaren of TES, sloppy. Sorry, this timing board is all wrong. We are on lap 2 of 36, not 3 of 36. He's a little bit of skew with at the back there. Sanchez is a lot more comfortable now at this point in the race, and Pred is all over the back of someone just behind as well. That could very well be Light Shock. It is. So the two Red Bulls in action straight away, and well, not ideal through it all. Jolly then is hounding now the Williams of Profit Media, who's had a great start, but not able to keep up with the Ferrari of Binary, whose teammate is not here this week. Sanchez then overtaking the Racing Point of Turkey's. Turkey's slowing down a little bit. For his qualifying pace is not the same as his race pace, clearly, and that's unfortunate for the Racing Point driver. Now, is there anything else popping on in the grid? Let's have a look. Sloppy then is very much racy right now, up 3 positions from the start, the best of the grid, while Turkey's is down 3 positions, so that's the worst of the grid. And Jolly is absolutely flying at the moment. Let's go on board with the Mercedes driver. He is the man to watch at the moment, and this is reminiscent of the last 2 seasons where he has been so dominant. And we haven't seen that so much this season, but he's looking absolutely on fire tonight, and that is great to see from a Mercedes point of view. Maybe he's got George Russell in the car instead of himself at this point, but Jolly all over the back of that Williams, wanting to make a move soon, I am sure, as Sanchez is already 2 seconds behind this battle. Swain then back up to the back of Sloppy. Let's have a quick look at that and see, because that gap was rather large earlier, and Swain has brought friends along with, well, the 2 Alfa Romeos, and, well, everyone down to P12 is all in this battle for P6 right now. It's Sloppy that's leading the way, but he's trying to catch up with Turkeys. But let's go on board with Jolly. He's definitely the man to watch, and he's incredibly quick. It's still 2 seconds between Jolly and Profit Medium Binary, but Jolly is literally, he's pushing that Williams around this stadium section in Mexico, and that is just showing the confidence in the Mercedes driver at the moment. He is absolutely on fire in these first 3 laps, and I wonder if this now will be a move down the start-finish straight. And that is the move for the Mercedes driver there into turn 1. Well, just a little bit before, but now he is looking at Binary, and he's already caught a little bit of a gap, so his grip is a fair bit more than... There's a yellow flag. Who is that? It's Straka that's retired. Any safety car. It's a virtual, which might give a little reprieve for Binary at this point, as everyone goes really slowly around that hairpin. It was always it's always a bit scary at that point, to be honest, but he is yeah, Sloppy's dropped Jolly, sorry, has dropped off quite a bit from Binary, and Straka's now left the session. We'll wait and see if there is any closing in at this stage, and he has finally caught back up, and that could be a bit too close for the virtual safety car's liking, and Jolly will have to drop off a little bit, but he's trying to do everything he can not to give Binary an advantage. And when will this virtual safety car end? Because it will obviously, and there it goes, it has ended, and it's about the same distance for Jolly and Binary at this point. And well, the rain does seem like it's easing off at the moment, which might mean inters are the case in a little bit, but we'll wait and see on that front. I'm not sure how far these tyres will take them anyway. Any movement down below. Master Swain and Simple Chris are getting very, very tasty and close. Swain losing a little bit of grip into turn 1, and it seems like the cornering for that Red Bull at the start, which is slightly odd for Master Swain, because usually it's, I would say, his consistency through all of the race is what keeps him into the top end of the grid. But today it seems very much like it's the latter half of the race where he is quicker. But let's go on board then with Mercedes of Jolly again. I feel like this could be a raging battle between Jolly and Binary throughout, as Jolly receives a 3-second time penalty. I thought that was close over the line, but it's not as close. Well, it's obviously closer to being out than in, and that's caused him to get a 3-second time penalty. But the way he's driving at the moment, it could be absolutely fine for him. We will continue watching this battle with ease. They're already 2 seconds clear of Prophet Meaty in P3, and Master Swain is dropping off of Sloppy a little bit and then catches him back up. So it's like very odd, but Jolly absolutely flying. Let's go a little bit on board action and see how far he is away into turn one. And there's obviously nothing he'll do there, but very, very quick is this Mercedes driver this week. And Jolly's been, wow, it's in 6 laps. He's just reminded the field of how much of a dominant champion he was in season 15 and 14 here at F1XL. Sorry about the longer pauses than usual on my side. I am it's forgetful doing the commentary on your own and of how much water intake I usually have in these, and well, especially with the start we've had and the way Jolly is driving through the stadium section. He and Binary go now as Gunhead receives a 3-second time penalty. He's battling away with Madman for P13, which is unlucky for some and those two outside of the points, unfortunately, but I'm sure they'll be battling away as Master Swain has got past Sloppy in the stadium section, and that's a really good move, but I did not want to go off of here. Binary's gone defensive. A little bit of a double action there, but as a little swerving maybe down the start-finish straight, but a very light swerving, so it's the kind you would say is allowed, as Jolly is trying to get any advantage over the Ferrari driver as he can, and it's looking crazy at the moment. Let's go on board with Swain as Sloppy's dropping down the order massively. Is there front wing damage on that McLaren, or is it just a little bit of an unlucky as Niels has gone down the grid as well? Let's have a look. Nothing on Swain, nothing on... Oh, is that something on... No, it is still a full front wing there. Let's keep on and having a look, and I'm not sure what screenshot is being uploaded onto Xbox, but it is being uploaded. Sinful Chris is having a right old race with Master Swain coming in P6 currently. P6 and 7, Sloppy and Pred fighting away. Let's keep on board with this. I do have to go back on board with Jolly in a minute, as Pred is going around the outside of Sloppy, and Sloppy had no defence for that. Pred is, well, finding his feet a little bit in this wet weather, and Niels is going for it as well, and Sloppy's just lost a little bit of momentum, a little bit of consistency as this race has worn on, and Binary into the pit early, and I wonder now if that is for a tyre change to intermediate. Pingers has gone on to intermediates. There it is, intermediates for Binary, and Jolly is still going on strong. On the wets at the moment, a lot of people pitting. I did say a few laps ago it looked a little bit more like a dry line forming, and the rain is not as heavy as it was at the start, so we could see it dry towards the end of the race. And well, Sanchez, Jolly, Sinful Chris, Swain, Pred, all taking the risk to stay on the wets this early on. Let's go, move on to Master Swain and Sinful Chris, because this is the battle raging on, and at this point I think these two need to help each other out instead of fighting away. However, my my advice and what usually should be going on is two completely different things, really, as Swain now is 10 seconds, 11 seconds really, away from the lead of this Grand Prix. How is Binary holding on onto those intermediate tyres? Swain is starting to pull a little bit of a gap out to Citizen for Chris. So Swain having a bit of an advantage, but Binary is quicker at this stage, and well, it feels like one of those, and Family Guy letting Binary through. So clearly Inters are the better tyre at the moment. Everyone dropping in. Pred stays out, and so does Sinful Chris, actually. They're doing a completely odd strategy, and I wonder if they are hoping for a little bit of dry tyres very soon so they can just switch over. Sinful Chris leads the Grand Prix, and Binary actually comes out side by side with Jolly, and there was no difference in time for the two of them, and they are battling away, and Master Swain drops behind Turkeys. Is it behind his rival in Lightshock as well? Lightshock having much freer air, which has caused him to come out in front of Master Swain, and that is an undercut and a half on that point. So Lightshock making the early move and it working, but it didn't work for Binary up ahead, and Jolly is a little bit squiffing through there, but I wonder if Jolly's dominance, because the rain has eased, might drop off a little bit. We'll wait and see, eagerly anticipating how that one pans out, because it is technically the battle for the lead if Sinful Chris and Pred don't get lucky with how things go. And Pred is very much using the wetter side of the track. You saw how Pred was on the left-hand side there on your screen, and Sinful Chris very much taking the drier line on the wet, which isn't the wiser thing to do when... I don't know, actually. It could be fine for them. And Sinful Chris starts in, as does Pred. They both into the pits for intermediates, and if this rain sticks out, they will last the rest of the race. But Jolly and Binary setting the fastest lap of the race, but only just to Jolly because of the pit stop, and I'm sure Jolly's going to have a look at him down this start-finish straight. Will there be a pop up the inside? He has a little look, maybe a little feint there. But everything all falling into place, and Master Pred, has he jumped Sinful Chris? He has. Is there a pit? Let's have a quick look at the pit stops here and see. It is a front wing change for Sinful Chris as well. That could be why he was dropping away from Master Swain as well. But now Red Bull 7-8, and Swain having difficulty getting past the Alpha Tauri of Lightshock, which will be more good. Well, it'll be more good news for Lightshock than it is Master Swain, as the points difference at the moment. And we'll cast your mind back to last week where Swain, internet problems again. Wow, nuthead. I know where I'd go, but Jolly picking up a 3-second time penalty there. And basically, if these two battling it out for the whole race, I'll be thrilled to bits at the front of the grid, because they are, well, Jolly just proving to be why he's still probably a great driver within F1XL by just popping up this one race and throwing an absolute curveball. Binary dominating through it all last week. He said in the podium questions last week that he thinks from what I gather, he's the most deserving of the three to win the title because he's been waiting the longest. But to be honest, looking at the stats, I think Swain really has been waiting on F1XL soil longer than Binary for an F1XL title, let alone an F1XL title. Binary obviously having an F2-1, and Jolly looking really close to the back end of that Ferrari. He's going to go anywhere he can to try get the grip, to try have the better advantage over Binary. He has 6 seconds worth of penalties on lap 11. So the Ferrari is obviously holding up the Mercedes, and it's a little bit wide there as Sanchez receives a 3-second time penalty. Let's have a look at that battle, because Turkey's received one as well. So penalties starting to pile up. and he's very close to the back of Prophet Meady, but he's now going to have to overtake to get any sort of advantage for a podium over that Williams driver. A good weekend for Williams if it can keep on going like this. Pickled Avenger, though, different sort of luck there. Prophet Meady now, fastest man on the track, slowly catching these two up ahead. Could make it a four-way battle for the lead at this rate, and not on this occasion for Jolly. A bit too far back as Pred now closing in on his teammate and Master Swain. Let's have a look at that, and Swain not close enough this time, but Lightshock definitely holding up the Red Bull, and they're falling further and further behind from Turkeys. And I wonder how much Swain is hitting himself right now for not pitting early, or if this is all part of a Master Red Bull plan. But let's have a look at the battle for the lead again. Jolly is not letting up. It's relentless onto the back end of that Ferrari at the moment, and you can see just how much more confident he is through these corners. People will say it's a pad track, but well, you take the advantage when it comes, do you not? And well, look at how close he's getting, and now they're pulling away again from the battle behind, and I think Binary's really just thought he'd better get a move on. Niels 998 then picking up a penalty in P9, and Pred is now dawning. He's catching, he's doing everything he can to catch back up with Master Swain and Lightshock. And Lightshock is actually catching Turkeys. Fastest lap of the race goes to Jolly. Is he close enough this time down the start finish straight to attack Binary and get the position done? Will Binary go defensive? He does go defensive, but not enough, I feel. And Jolly takes the lead of the Grand Prix down into turn one, and has finally, as Pred gets the fastest lap of the race as well. So the track is drying up, and Jolly has finally got the move done on the Ferrari. He's in the lead of this Mexican Grand Prix here at F1XL, and I say a great move. It was rather simple in the end for the Mercedes driver, but he still had to get it done. Swain falling a little bit off of the back of Lightshock at the moment. He's going to need to start building up a little bit of ERS to use, but they're both on about the same. They need to start thinking about the drivers behind those two instead of about their own battle, and start moving forward a little bit. Turkeys is still averaging the same kind of pace to Sanchez as it was before. Binary's dropping off away from Jolly at this stage, and well, 6 seconds for Jolly at the moment. Let's have a look. Yeah, I think it's going to be okay, as Family Guy and Madman fighting away at P13, and I wonder if that is Madman dropping a position to the McLaren driver. Pingers went a lap early on to those Inters, if you remember rightly, as Jolly gets the fastest lap of the race. A little bit of free air for the Mercedes driver, and he's done wonderfully there. And behind, Madman and Gunhead side by side down into turn 12, still side by side by the team owners of their respective teams. And wow, what a little bit of action down the back end of the grid at the moment. This wet weather has really thrown some spanners in the works, and Master Swain not getting close enough. Lightshock now starting to build a rhythm, which is really helping him defend behind, and well, Pred is now in the mix, and same time difference between Master Swain and Lightshock, and Master Swain and SF Pred, and that gap between Pred and Master Swain was a lot higher a minute ago. I think it was something like 4, maybe 5 seconds. So lap 14 of this Mexican Grand Prix, and it is Jolly that leads, but that gap to Binary has significantly dropped all of a sudden. It was 1.3 seconds a moment ago, and Jolly now on the defensive from the Ferrari. Are we going to see round 2 of this heavyweight battle between Binary and Jolly? One of the, well, a 2-time world champion in Jolly, and someone who's come ever so close on the F1 side of things on a few occasions in Binary, but Binary's now dropping, actually. The slipstream hasn't kicked in on that Ferrari just yet, and actually that's a lot further back than I thought. And Master Swain, let's go on board with that, because that's looking very much like Lightshock has got the better of him, and Pred is actually closer to Swain than Lightshock. I think maybe Swain is just regaining himself, maybe, or it could just be that he's dropped off completely. We'll come back to that one in a minute. But Sloppy then trying to regain some focus after a great start, but then just dropped from nowhere. The McLaren driver really not sure what happened there. Prophet Meady and, oh, look at this. Prophet Meady and Sanchez then side by side. Oh, there's contact between the two of them. Through into the hairpin, which is turn 6. It's technically, in my eyes, 2 corners, but it's, well, dropped them miles away from the battle from the lead, and now Turkeys is involved in the battle for the podium. And, well, if these two battle away for much longer, they will get the others to drop in as well. And, well, this could be perfect for Turkeys to try and catch through it all. Niels 998 has retired down at, I think that's turn 9. And there is a safety car, and neither of the leaders pit. I wonder if anyone else will. A fresh set of intermediates on to the car of Prophet Meady, it seems. He's happy to take the plunge. Turkeys will take the podium position. Pred has left the session. Let's see if I can do anything about that. His car has stayed out, so that's a start at least. No, I didn't want Prophet Meady. What? Oh, right, it's doing that. Okay, let's try. Getting Pred back in, so safety car, and it's going to bring the whole grid together. Mercedes leading the way at the moment as Niels never left the session. That is gutting for the Dutchman. He was doing quite well in that race and into the pits for a few people there. And Family Guy, Matt, is that, what's going on there? It looks like Family Guy is trying to overtake Pingers. Very odd indeed, that. But it has brought everyone back together. And while I do this, let's have just go on board here and have a look at the race director for Binary. There is one warning to the Ferrari driver. Turkeys, there we see. Lightshock and Master Swain, same lap. Both picking up warnings. Pred, everyone seemed to pick up a warning on lap 2. Okay, not everyone. But very odd to see Lightshock and I thought that was Jolly popping into the pits there. Lightshock and Master Swain. $21.38. Okay, that was sorry, Pingers. I've just seen your message. It's a bit late now, I know, but right. Pred is desperately trying to join back. I've seen in the chat. He is finally back, so it is thankfully safety car, and I think he'll be happy about that he his car has thankfully not pitted, as Man is going on to a set of medium compound tyres. Now, is this a stroke of genius from the Mercedes driver? Obviously, the grid is sandwiched by 2 Mercedes drivers at the moment, but ooh. Is this the move that will see him get some big points this weekend? The safety car undoubtedly pitting this lap. Let's quickly go on board. Definitely don't see the spray coming up. We had this in Belgium, I believe. Back around 5, was it? So that was a long time ago, but where it was dry enough, round 4, sorry, where it was dry enough, well, it was raining, it was wet, but it was dry enough to hold the dry tyres for a long time. those tyres. A 5-second penalty for Jolly. Everyone is darting into the pits. So the safety car is staying out and everyone into the pits. Where is... Oh, that is gutting for... Binary's going to get hold. Binary is going to get held. This is gutting for the Ferrari driver. Oh my goodness, that is so unlucky. What? Oh, that is an absolute gutter punch to the Ferrari as Master Swain is out. Well, right behind. Light Shock has actually jumped to effective lead of this. Oh no, this has all worked really weird. The people being held in the pits are through the roof, and it's Turkeys, who was in P5 when all this was happening, has come out in P3. Madman is in P8. That's incredible, absolutely incredible decision making there, and everyone's wow, what an end of the race we are going to have here. And I'm thrilled to say that I've managed to get myself back into this, because what an absolute crazy decision making time. And well, Master Swain is down into P12. What's happened there? Ooh, because he came out behind Jolly. So Swain down into P12 for some reason. And the safety car is in this lap. So that is gutting for the Red Bull driver. But it means that Binary is back ahead of him. So what's going on here? I know it's going to start, but I need to see if there is any indication that will tell me what is going on. 5 seconds spent, a penalty for speeding in the pit lane, but people definitely are back underway. Let's go up board. Jolly already making a move on Light Shock at the start, and Light Shock's trying to have a word back, but nothing on it on this occasion. But Light Shock is in prime position right now. He's up into P3, Madman P5. So I really don't know what's going on. Pred then all over the back of Pingers in P9. Binary in P8. And for the lead of the race, Jolly has gone up the inside into turns 4 and then 5 and has the lead from Turkeys. Turkeys then in P2. Same size as Jolly, as Family Guy has got past Pred. Pred's trying to defend the position, and he is doing. Through round the outside. They're still side by side through 6. And Pred, oh, there was just a bit too much, and Pred has lost it there. That's such a shame for Pred, because he was driving great there. And as a VSC, which will slow people right down the start finish straight, and such a shame for Pred there. Hopefully he'll let me know what was going on in the chat, but gutting for Pred. And into the pits then is Jolly and Turkeys, both I think trying to take advantage of the virtual safety car to go onto a set of mediums to go to the end of the race. I think the game pitted them as everyone else is trying to heat up. I think at this point it's probably the wisest thing to do, as Madman is into podium position territory. He's P3, and while bad luck, I said this I think on Extra on Wednesday, while bad luck has struck Binary again, it's the case of it could have been a lot worse, and he's in P6 instead of what should have been like P8 or 9 after those pit stop issue. And up the inside then goes Sinful Chris is on Madman. Oh, and it's a bit sideways from Sinful Chris, and I know he wants to get past quickly, but it's better surely just to hold back and get past on the long straight. Madman, they're losing ground to Sloppy and Light Shock ahead, and Light Shock out of nowhere has managed to swing the title battle into his favour. He was very, very much the weaker of the drivers in the wet, but in the dry, he looks like he's, well, become a different driver. Obviously, luck has turned into his favour. The pendulum has swung, as you could say, but here comes Sloppy then. Is he going to have enough of enough speed in the McLaren to do anything. Doesn't look like it on this occasion. It actually looks like Light Shock is pulling away. Binary gets the fastest lap of the race down in P6. Pingers and Swain are battling away as Master Swain has a 5-second penalty, which I'm sure will probably end up being removed in the end as Sanchez receives as getting the fastest lap of the race, sorry. So that is he's dropped off a little bit as well. As for Chris and Madman round 2, and we see Binary overtaking Profit behind as well, and that was, well, I don't want to say inevitable. Simple Chris definitely firing and on all cylinders, and definitely this time no penalties as of yet for Simple Chris as he's gone quite high up. Usually we see 1 or 2 penalties to his name, but this week looking very, very clean this time round. Let's keep on board with the penalties at the moment. Jolly and Bickle Avenger both on 9 seconds worth, as Gunhead and Sanchez are on 6. So 5 seconds there for Swain, which is an interesting one. But he's still got to get past Pingers. And let's have a look at Binary, who's looking very quick again, I'll say. Simple Chris goes fastest. Does anyone else break that? No, they do not. Going down the start-finish straight. Will Sloppy make a move? I don't think he's close enough. And I thought it was continuing to rain there, but Sanchez again goes faster still. And the DRS is active, by the way, as Swain is doing his uttermost to get past it. But I think, I don't know, we've seen him do some daring moves and overtakes as he receives a 3-second time penalty there, as does Turkeys. I think he's just trying his best to get through this all and get back up to some more points and more point-scoring positions. Binary passes Madman as well through all that, and now Prophet Meaty is all over the back of that Mercedes as well. So daring strategy for Madman, put him into some decent position, scoring position there as well, and put himself under a little bit of pressure as well. Light Shock and Sloppy still going strong, but as a yellow flag in sector 2 for no reason at all. It was it was Jolly. So it was a reason, and I think Jolly, and it's another safety car. Will anyone pit? Master Swain has. Interesting. 13 laps. I wonder if that's a set of softs for the Red Bull driver. It's a 5-second hold. A nice way to get rid of one of your penalties, though. And people are taking the gamble for this. So Master Swain, he's going to be fast, but towards the end of the race, it's going to be very, I think I'm trying to think of the right words, squeaky bum time on those tyres, maybe. But you have to be in it to win it, and very slow to go past the safety car there as it waits for everyone to go through. And second safety car, I think we've had 2 virtuals as well. And it does nullify things. And we've lost Stracker, Niels 998, SF Pred, and just, well, more recently to cause this safety car, Jolly, as well. And what a race Jolly was having at the beginning. He was absolutely on fire. But we've got a little bit of an unusual podium as into the pits now. Other people are starting to do the same, and the only one that doesn't is Prophet Meaty. No hold up in the pit lane this time for Binary, as there goes Sloppy. And seamless change there, which lets Pingers, and so interesting nonetheless. They're all going to come out well in advance of Master Swain, who thought he could get one up on these guys, but they've all taken the same decision. So let's see. They've all come out in. Yes, they have. Apart from Prophet Meaty, who is willing to stay on these mediums until the end. I wonder if that's going to be a mistake out of it all, as Sanchez now on a set of mediums himself as Turkeys pits, and that's a shame for Turkeys, but Gunhead up into P9. So Red Bull, Racing Point's close to the points. Double point scoring. I think that would be for the first time this season if that were the case. But yeah, we'll wait and see on that one. And let's see where Light Shock is in comparison. Everyone is starting to come through. Family Guys into a pits for a set of softs. Sorry, they've got a long way to go actually. Not to burn out those softs as well. So Prophet Media leads with Light Shock and Sloppy in second and third respectively there. Binary is in P4. And I wonder if, as Gunhead receives a penalty there, I wonder if Prophet Media will pit this lap under the safety car. He doesn't. Very interesting as you see they're weaving all to keep the heat in the tyres. Binary there in P5, Light Shock P2, Master Swain P8, and that's the the way the cookie has crumbled for this season. It's not being the consistency that we come to expect of Master Swain has just not been there of recent weeks. So he's definitely going to go for it this time, I'm sure, but. Yeah, we're just waiting for things to all pan out here, and for the safety car to come back in. Let's just have a look at the standings as well. I think that it is about the right time. Just to remind everyone how it is all going, and well, Binary first last time out, second in Monza, where Light Shock was second last time out and 13th in Monza. That was the two races back to back there, and cast your mind back to Australia last time out, and Binary overtook Light Shock with 4 laps to go to take the lead and to build a 16-point gap to Light Shock and Swain, who are separated by 1 point. So this will go a long way to helping Light Shock regain a little bit of that lost ground, but definitely needs something from Master Swain at these closing stages. And Light Shock is definitely under the cosh straight away. A good little getaway there from Prophet Media, and Light Shock is actually now pulling away from Sloppy down the straight. So a wet weather setup seeming for Sloppy, and he's not going to have anything down the straight. Binary and Sinful Chris there. What is going on down here? Swain is in the middle of an absolute cluster, and he's got up into P7 past Pingers, and somehow no accident through all that. They were side by side into turn 1, and that was crazy. Not Light Shock, sorry, Gunhead. Oh, Gunhead is that was a perfect angle for there, and I feel sorry for Gunhead. Just overcocked into the corner there. I think that was turn 4, and it looked like he'd placed it perfectly between Pingers and Swain and took the position, but then just careered on. And there's another safety car for what? Well, it'll mean these softs will definitely have a little bit more life at them at the end of the Grand Prix. But I'm still waiting to hear some sort of indication why that would come out. Madman into the pits. No front wing change. There's a lot of people going into the pits. No front wing change for them. Just a set of fresher softs and to serve a 3-second time penalty. That's quite wise on the Mercedes point of view. Into the pits then for Gunhead. Just a straight swap. That was a long hold for Gunhead. That's for no reason at all. Fair enough. Look at that. Master Swain and Binary, 5th and 6th. Now, unexpected on that front. Why we've got this safety car, but I think it's a virtual safety car and safety car in this race, which is unusual. We've usually have 1 or 2 a race, but never 6 in one race, and maybe it is just Mexico. But currently, Prophet Meady still decided to stay out on those mediums at this stage on lap 27 of 36. We started this race in full wet conditions, and now Mexico is dry as a bone. You can't see any wet on the track at all as we just flow through the stadium section. A lot of people don't like that stadium section because it doesn't add much to it, but I keep on thinking I see rain dropping, but in coming into that stadium section, but there is none there. To throw one last curveball in this race, and we've had various different leaders because of it, various different battles going through as Gunhead is finally catching back up to the safety car. But Sloppy quite at home recently in this 3rd place, and well, the McLaren driver is only got 3 podiums this season, a 2nd in Singapore, a 3rd in Monza 3 weeks ago, and then a 2nd in Australia 2 weeks ago. Obviously, that Brazilian Grand Prix, which separate the Australian and Italian Grand Prix, will be rerun at the end of the season. But he's benefited. He's benefited from other people's misfortune, but at the same time, you've got to be there to get any of them. So it's interesting to say the least. Let's have a look at the penalty situation. Binary on 5 seconds, which will probably get taken off if I know the penalty system for going into the pits here. Swain is on 3 seconds. Pingers is on 3 seconds. So everyone outside of the top 4, which for once, actually, I know I feel like I'm going picking on him here, but Sinful Chris, no penalties for him. Which I don't want to say is a shock, but it's a nice thing to see. Sinful Chris keeping things a lot. It's harsh saying clean, but for him not to get any penalties this week would be nice. And usually we see 1, maybe 2 on him, but he's done a good job this week at a track which where you can see indicates a lot of penalties. When will Prophet Meady go? He's gone very early this time, or has he? Oh, he has, and actually, it's gonna catch him out. It's actually caught Sinful Chris out because he's gonna get overtaken from Binary, I think. But look at this, Snake going down, and will Sloppy, either of them try make a move. Prophet Meady has had to concede into turn 1, and Lightshock then very much in control of this now. I feel, and. Well, lap 29 of 36, still plenty of time to go. Will Sloppy make a move on him this time? He does not. And it's a nice little... Master Swain struggling a little bit through sector 1. I wonder if he's having issues, or if it's... Look at the grip difference between Sloppy and Prophet this early on these set of softs. And I know Prophet, I know the idea he was planning, but it might come against him at the end. And I wonder, Binary pushed a little bit wide there by Sinful Chris coming back onto the racing line as he had a little peek at the McLaren. But this is going to be an absolute bloodbath on that Williams this time round, as Lightshock is already 1.7 seconds clear of that Williams. Going down the start, finish straight then. They're all defensive, and let's go on board, I think, with Sinful Chris, see what because he looks like he's actually going to overtake Sloppy Cop here, and he doesn't on this occasion. And wow, getting very, very close to each other coming into turn 1 to 3, the little section there. But Binary's got to be careful because he's got Master Swain, who's going to be desperate to finish above him, just behind him in this battle for the championship. And I'll remind you of the point system. It is Binary on 203, Light Shock on 187 and Master Swain on 186. The battle is going to go down to the wire. We've still got 6 races after this one to compete, as Sinful Chris and Binary go side by side through all this, and Master Swain has what a move. Has Master Swain actually made it? They're still side by side, and there it goes Pingers as well. Oh, Pingers is desperate to have a look as well. And is that Red Bull round? It is not, but up the inside goes Turkeys. Turkeys is trying to pick up on things, and wow, look how close it is. And Turkeys and Master Swain. Wow, Swain has come off second best there, and wow, plenty to do, and it's given the guys behind a little bit more impetus to go on and get into the battle of things. But Binary still in P5 then. He got away with that one, and in comes Pingers then. Will he have a look at Swain up the inside into turn 1? But it's not on this occasion. And wow, mental stuff there, to say the least, through all of that. And Family Guy and Madman for the last point scoring position. Family Guy tries to go up the inside, clips the back end of that Mercedes, and wow, that is that done and dusted. And with all this, Prophet Media is still somehow in P2, and there's a 4-second gap to Light Shock. Light Shock is flying at the moment. He needs to get as much time between him and this battle as possible. And here comes Sloppy then, trying around the outside. At this point, as it's another safety car and it's a yellow flag. Will anything else come of it? We've had plenty of safety cars today. We don't want any more. Around the stadium section, Sloppy goes with Profit. And finally, Sloppy has made the move stick. And look at that. Binary and Simple Chris side by side through all this. We're going to continue to stay on board with this. It's Sloppy, Simple Chris. Is it going to be 4 wide? Binary swerves over in front of Sinful Chris to get the move done and past Sloppy as well. And Binary now up to P5. Turkeys, Sloppy all the way down, and there's a retirement from Gunhead as well. I'm not sure what's happened there, but Swain is in this battle as well. Binary all over the back of Prophet Meaty, and this podium questions is going to be incredibly feisty at the end, I think. Binary still all over the back of Prophet Meaty, and he's got the soft tyres. He wants to use them to at least try and catch Light Shock, but I think it's too late for that. But he needs to get some gap with the guys ahead. And Master Swain then is in P6. Sinful Chris hasn't actually lost the position. Even though he lost out to Binary, he caught Sloppy napping a little bit. Let's see what Binary can do against the Williams of Prophet Meaty. And, well, they're a lot further apart than they were last lap. But Prophet, will he go defensive on the Ferrari? He will do into turn 1. Prophet... So Binary does go up the inside though, and it looks like he's gone through the Williams with relative ease that Sloppy struggled with for so many laps. And Prophet Meaty is definitely looking like he's struggling now though. And Light Shock has an advantage though, and Binary then into P2, and will all change, I'm sure. But Prophet Meaty being on those mediums has definitely helped Light Shock with the gap he's got at this stage. At 33 of 36, they come through this segment of corners which people do struggle with, and you can see Binary's already pulling away from Prophet Meaty. So let's have a look on with Sinful Chris. He's got Sloppy behind and Master Swain behind, but he's got that Williams of Prophet Meaty ahead, who is going to use everything in his power to just grab hold of the DRS from Binary ahead and use that as defence. But I don't know if he's caught it or not. I don't know if he's caught the DRS activation zone to give him that advantage that he needs. I don't think he has. He's going to be there again. And this is going to be interesting coming down to the wire. 3 laps remaining. Lap 34 of 36. Binary has somehow managed to claw himself back into P2. Unfortunate with a pit stop under the safety car, but has been fortunate with other people throughout as well. And look at Sinful Chris try all his might to get through that Williams into turn 6 here, and he's got the move done. He now has the chance to try and re-catch Binary. But look at the gap already. Prophet Meaty has definitely held a lot of drivers up as he receives a 3-second time penalty. Is that second? Or is that his first? That is his first, as Binary has 8 seconds worth of penalties. I wonder if any of those will be revoked from the ticket team. We'll have to wait and see on that one later on, but the podium is going to be very hit and miss. It could very well be Lightshock, Sinful Chris and Sloppy at this rate. But those guys need to get a move on and get past the slow moving Williams of Prophet Meaty on those mediums, because that is what's held them up and actually caused them to be less effective through all this. And well, that is a crazy late move. We've lost 6 drivers in this Grand Prix as everyone rounds through the first sector for the penultimate time here in Mexico. Prophet Meaty, oh, that's not giving me a good camera angle. He's all over the back of Sinful Chris, but yeah, he's struggling a little bit in that Williams on those 16 lap old tyres, as there's Family Guy and DNFing, retiring from the session. So he's possibly just had enough on that occasion, and he's left the session, the McLaren driver, unfortunately. But that's our 7th retiree so far, and let's go on board with Sloppy because he's all over the back of that Williams driver at the moment. It's what can Sloppy do to the Williams on the last lap now? Coming through, there is DRS on the Williams of Prophet Meaty, so I don't think he's going to have anything into turn 1. Turn 4 is his next best bet, but they've got to be careful not to cause an incident, or otherwise they're both out of the points. Binary's pulling away a little bit now and might have enough for the... No, he doesn't. He's got 8 seconds worth of penalties, so he's going to drop behind possibly Sloppy at this rate, and that's about it. But Sloppy's unable to do anything to Prophet Meaty and get the move done. These guys on the softs, well, it's a shame that they were stuck behind the Williams for so long, but fair play to Prophet Meaty, just deploying at the right moment, and that's a penalty for Pingers, which might save Binary from dropping too far back. But let's go on board, as everything has fallen right for him on the day, especially the second half of the race. It's Lightshock that wins the Mexican Grand Prix. Binary will come across the line in second, but where will he finish as Sinful Chris doesn't receive a penalty? He will come second. Sloppy is third. Binary will finish 4th ahead of Master Swain, and that was very, very quickly run out in the end there, as what a crazy, crazy race we've had. Lightshock then taking the victory, and we will just wait for the podium to hang out. So there we have it then. It started absolutely bucketing it down here in Mexico, and it ended up really dry. Lightshock takes victory in a incredibly different track, and he takes first from Sinful Chris in the Alfa Romeo, and then Sloppy will round out the podium in P3. Now, Binary coming home in P4 and Master Swain in P5 just adds a little bit more spice to the championship as well. Prophet Meady will come home in P6 and he'll be a bit gutted with that, but great race nonetheless from him. Pingers in P7, Sanchez in P8, Pickled Avenger in P9, and Turkey's coming home in a solitary point of P10. Now, DNFs for Family Guy, Gunhead, Madman, Jolly, Pred, Niels, and Stracker. And this feels like an absolute... Well, this feels like it's gone on for far too long, this race. And I only was here for the race. But let us get the party sorted for the podium questions. I'm sure people are going to love this nonetheless, but we'll wait for it all to pan out and wait for the podium people to come in to the party to see what their thoughts of the race were. And I think everyone is into the lobby now. I say into the lobby, into the party. And I'm going to go first straight to Light Shock. And Light Shock can... Oh... It would help if I had my mic for the party on as well, so they could hear me. Light Shock, I'm going to go straight to you, and well, congratulations on what was a mental race. I think is the only way you can describe it. Talk us through what you were feeling.
That is my best win of the season so far. There's no two ways about it for me. That one is special for me. Holy shit. After bidding it in qualifying, I was literally not expecting much from this one.
Well, talk us through what you were thinking at the beginning, because obviously you dropped down from qualifier. You weren't really. I'm sure you won't mind me saying this, but you were a bit of a nothingness in the wet stage, the wet tyre stages, and you kind of came to life in the inters a little bit. But what happened?
I don't think I was terrible on the wets, but I was definitely under pressure from, I think it was Pred behind me, really put me under pressure. I did get to grips at some point, and then obviously I've got the move on Niels just before the VSC came out, which was helpful. And then it was basically just trying to get to grips with the conditions, and then I could already feel as soon as it started drying up a little bit, as soon as the dry line began forming, I could feel the grip returning, and I got the call to go onto the intermediates. I was frankly surprised Chris and Swain ahead of me didn't go onto the inters, but I knew I had to take that advantage to make the undercut work, which I did. And then it was basically a race against Swain, which is something I've was quite relishing, to be honest. I think I was managing the gap to him quite well. I think I just about had the measure of him in the interconditions. And then the safety car madness happened. I actually have to give a big apology out to F1XL Pingers, because I had been so adamant to him not to pit when the safety car came out. He wanted to pit for mediums, and I told him not to, because I honestly didn't think the track was going to dry up quickly enough. But got to say I was wrong on that one, and he should have done so. He could have gained massively, but it just felt like as the track dried up, the confidence just kept coming back more and more, and also with other people making perhaps tactical errors, like Turkeys and Jolly going onto the softs, I think was a mistake on their parts. Ended up in the lead somehow, and then keeping Sloppy back wasn't actually too hard. No offence to him, he's a good driver, but I knew he was on the wrong setup, so keeping him back wasn't too hard. But then obviously, then the next safety car happened, and Prophet Meady took the gamble to stay out on the medium tyres, which was brave, but I think it almost did work out for him, in fairness. He was doing quite well, but because he'd done that, I knew at that safety car restart, getting past him was crucial. I had to get past him so I can maximise the laps without DRS, because I think I knew, again, Sloppy behind Prophet, I knew was going to struggle to pass him without DRS. So I used literally everything I had on that, down that straight, to get past the Williams, and yeah, turned out to be crucial. Got a big gap before the likes of Binary and Chris got past, and yeah, that victory is, I think that's one of my best ever. I'm really proud of that one.
It was definitely a cracking race on your point of view. You got driver of the day on the game. I haven't even thought about what driver of the day is yet. My brain has definitely not
I don't blame you.
Caught up yet, but obviously I mean, you only saw a certain amount, obviously being at a party as well, but there were some helps for you along the way. I mean,
Oh yeah.
do you feel that luck is finally turning to, because all three of you at the top of the table has had some bad luck, but the pendulum's
Some
swinging in a light shock direction right now.
Something I've always said is that you have to make your own luck. I mean, yes, things did happen for me, to put me in those situations, but I still had to, show the pace on the wets to get past Niels, then show the inter pace to keep Swain at bay. I definitely feel like I made my own luck today, but yeah, it's good. I know for a fact Binary. I know he's going to try and get those penalties removed, so we'll wait and see how that one plays out. If he does, obviously he'll get second, and that will soften the blow a bit on him. But regardless, one way or another, I'm gaining points on him and getting away a bit from Swain as well. So yeah, it's a good result for me. I knew Mexico should be good, even if the wet conditions I wasn't relishing, in all honesty. And yeah, USA next week, I'm expecting more of the same. And to be really honest, after what happened both last week in XL and this week in XFR, where Barney passed me on the last lap in both races, it felt good to actually take a win for once. So yeah,
dear.
I'm very, very happy about that.
Oh, that's a little bit gutting on your side. However, but congratulations on the win. I'll come back to you for one last question at the end. Sinful Chris,
Cheers, thank
I
you.
think you came home in P2 with no penalties. We've spoken about it a few times this season. Are you? I mean, I'm not saying you're penalty mad, but I think this is the first race in a while you haven't had a penalty. Is it something you've been working on, or is it just come to good for you at this time?
Yeah, I mean, it's been a bit of a difficult season for me across all three leagues that I'm taking part in, penalty, corner cut wise. I think I've took no traction off for this game, and I think I'm sort of getting caught out a bit more than I usually would on previous games. So I think this season's sort of just been a sort of a learning curve and knowing where to push the car. And there's a lot of tracks I haven't actually driven in anger yet. So doing the league races is probably the first time I'm actually getting a good run on the tracks. So I'm just getting caught on sort of snaps of oversteer rather than overdriving the car or anything like that. But that was an interesting and very very tough race given the conditions. But I'm over the moon to be on the podium.
I mean, it's been a long time coming for a second place. You've had a couple of third places throughout the season.
Well, I think it'll be third again because Matt got a penalty under the safety car, and usually they get removed anyway. So I mean, I said to him at the end there, I'll be over the moon with third, because it was a difficult race. I mean, everyone pit for it, as in me and Swain stayed out, and then I was going to stay out another lap because I didn't see the benefit of coming in. It didn't look to me as though Inters was the right call. It was in the end, and then I dropped it coming out the last corner and ripped my wing off. Probably cost us a few positions because I fell quite far down into the pack after that. And if it wasn't a safety car later in the race, I don't think I would have been up here. I probably would have been towards the back of the points. So, like Mark says, you sort of make your own luck. You've just got to keep grinding out the laps and see where you end up come the checker flag. And thankfully, I'm on the podium, be that second or third.
Yeah, we'll wait and see what the stewards say about that one. But obviously, your battle for the ASR spot is heating up with you and Sloppy, especially with Stracker's DNF and Prophet Meady falling outside of major point scoring. Do you feel you've got the measure of everyone else right now?
It's difficult to say. It ebbs and flows depending on the track and depending on which would do more practice than the other. There's some good tracks coming up for me. USA is usually a really good track. I've had some good results in my other leagues, so I'm hoping to pick up some big points there. I've had a few difficult races in the mid-season, and a few weeks ago where I dropped sort of majorly off Swaying, Binary and Light Truck. So I think solidifying P4 is probably my ultimate goal, and I'll come back stronger and try and mix in a bit higher with them next season. But if I can beat Sloppy and Profit and Stracker, I think I've had a good season, all things considered.
Fantastic, and congratulations, whether it be two or P2 or P3 in the end.
Thank you.
And good luck for next week. Sloppy, you're a third place resident of recent weeks. Obviously, news of Binary appealing the penalties. I'm sure we'll get news on that soon. But at the moment, you're currently P3. Is it a good feeling for you this week?
Yeah. I mean, any podium makes me feel good. I'm a bit surprised with me being on the wrong setup. It was a big mistake on my side. This was the one track I'm not done wet running on for practicing the race, and of course it rains, so I had no idea what setup's going on. I just listened to my team and went setup 2. Didn't really help me, so I had to adjust in the pit stops and lower my wing. But yeah, I think Binary he's definitely going to appeal his penalty, so I don't want to say anything damn solid on the podium, but I think this has been a decent race, all things considered, for me, being on by far the slowest setup.
You still managed to pull off some cracking moves through the race, though, especially in the wet conditions, which probably helped being on that wrong setup early on. Is it more of a regret, or are you just happy that it's worked out well for you?
I'm just happy that it worked out well, because I went setup 2 because it did rain, and on the radar originally in qualifying it showed heavy rain for the first 20 minutes, then light rain up until 45 minutes when it would go dry. So I just thought, what's the point in going setup 4, having a lot of trouble through the S section, when it's only going to be dry for about 5-6 laps. That's what I thought at the most, if it did get dry. So yeah, when I went into the race, I saw it would get dry around the halfway mark. Definitely did shock me a bit. So straight away, at my first pit stop, I think I lowered the wing by 2, going from 6.7 to 4.7. Yeah, just to try and help me at the straight line. But yeah, I did all that I could. Definitely wish I went on setup 4, or at least setup 3, just to have a bit more straight line speed. But yeah, I'm relieved with what I've got today.
I said to Chris a minute ago, obviously you and Chris seem to be the informed drivers in the remaining battle for the ASR. Obviously Chris has got that over you at the moment. Do you think you can grab 4th, or is it you're just going to be happy to be as high as you can in your rookie season in the top tier?
Yeah, I've not actually thought of that. I'd love to get Chris, but then Chris is such a good driver. He's fast. Like, whatever track you go to, he'll just turn up and be on the pace straight away. Whereas for me, I find it more difficult. I know I do have some good tracks coming up for me at the end of the season. So I'll definitely be pushing to try and take P4 in the standings. But with where I am right now, I'm really happy. As like you said, it's my first season in F1, and I think this time last season, no one would have expected me to be in F1. People would have probably expected me to be F3. So just to be where I am right now, I am happy with that. But I'm definitely pushing for more.
Fantastic. Well, congratulations on your third place finish, whether it be third place or 4th. Once the stewards' verdict come out, we'll wait and see. But congratulations nonetheless. Light Shock, last question for you. Moving on to America next week. Australia was last week. What are your feelings coming into this track? And do you think you could maybe make 2 in a row?
Well, USA is another favourite of mine. I mean, as I said this Friday, we raced there at the Friday League, and I had a good race and lost the lead on the final lap. Guess who did it? Binary took it away from me. So, yeah, I definitely think a spot of revenge is definitely on the mind. But in all honesty, just getting another good result is the focus. I think podium aim is usually the minimum for me at this point. Trying to get those consistent podium finishes just to at least be in the fight. And yeah, I feel USA will be a very good track like Mexico. There's a section of the track where corner cuts can be common, but as we proved, if you do keep your focus you can avoid the penalties. So we'll wait and see how that plays out. But yeah, I think it'll be a cracking race, and hopefully another good result for me. I hope good luck to Chris and Sloppy as well in their fight, and I hope Straka bounce backs as well, and Profit as well. That battle for P4 is still really, really close, even though Straka had DNF'd. He's definitely not out of it, and Profit as well. I mean, I know he is so angry with himself. I can tell you right now, from what I've seen in the chat, he's really angry, but he's just got to bounce back. He's still in that fight, and he knows he's got the pace to be in that fight. So I'm looking forward to that fight, but I'm also looking forward to the fight against Binary and Swain, which I'm expecting to be just as interesting.
Fantastic. Well, thank you very much, Lockshock, and congratulations to all of you on the podium for such a fantastic race. We've had it all really here at Mexico. We've had rain, we've had 6 safety cars, I think, and incidents galore, but we are going to be ending the stream now, and we will be back for Wednesday, where we will break down each league's race. I'm sure, well, if they are half as good as this one, we're in for a really long show. Now, we will be back next week for the American Grand Prix. I really want to call it the Australian for some reason. I'm desperate to call it the Australian, but it is the American Grand Prix. It is at 2100 hours. I should have Ollie back, and hopefully I won't have internet problems next week, sorry. But for now, we will see you in the next one.